Alright, so this PvP is going to be a build made by an AI, which is AlphaStar, back in 2018 when they released those papers. It was doing a build very similar to this. Obviously, it was a 12-worker patch, not the 8-worker patch at that time. This is just the same build order, redesigned a little bit for the 8-worker patch. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit so we don't waste any time here. We're just going up to, we should be building a... Okay, we must have been AFK here. We forgot to build our Pylon. Our Pylon should have gone down at 12. But I was probably talking to chat or something when I made this video. Now we're going to go double gas since we're late. That's fine. But as you can see, slightly mistakes like this do not end the game right away. So I wouldn't just leave for sure. Second gate. And then we're going to go core. Once the gateway finishes, here we go. Second pylon. And we're going to scout when we build the second pylon. We're going to use 3 Chronos on the Nexus to get as many probes as possible. And we're just going to be scouting what he's doing. 2 Adepts and Warp Gate. Now the one caveat to this is you can skip Warp Gate and get a little bit, because we're going to go Stargate next, you can get a little bit faster Stargate. However, I generally like to get Warp Gate first. I just think it's more helpful. Once Stargate next, and then as you have money, you're going to add 2 more Adepts. Now, when you go Adept, it is a little bit fragile to early Stalker pressure. So if I saw 2 Stalkers from my opponent, these 2 Adepts might actually be 2 Stalkers. At worst, or at best, I would build another battery. I would build a battery with these 2 Adepts, and then the next 2 units would be 2 Stalkers. But you can really be, you're really at risk of taking a lot of damage or just losing the game from a 4 or 6, 8 Stalker pressure, something like that, if you go Adept. So that's one thing to be wary. In this game, I saw he went for a fast 1-gate expo, so I'm not worried about that at all. But just keep in mind that if you see Stalker with your first probe, the game will play out quite differently. But in this scenario where he's being very greedy, we're just going to try to get as much economic pressure done as possible. We're going to be looking to get our expo up, relatively soon here. It's just kind of hard to afford everything, obviously, but you'll eventually get it up. We want to get our Oracle out as quickly as possible first. That way we can start harassing his natural and his main at the same time. With the Adepts in the natural, Oracle in the main, and really trying to spread them out a little bit. We're going to drop a Nexus, and we're going to go in with the Adepts. Shading while going in is definitely always the move. Get a few... Oh, and he almost attacked his own worker. But we get about 4 probe kills there already. That's a good start. I mean, we need to get a lot... We know we need to get a lot of economic damage here done because his Nexus is so much quicker than mine. This is where the build starts to really shape up. We're going to drop our Robo now that our Nexus is down. And we have our 1 Oracle. We brought the Oracle with the Adepts. I think that's kind of a mistake. I think I should have gone into the main with that. And we're just constantly trying to shade as much as possible. I didn't think we'd be able to get too much done. He does have Stalkers there. But as you can see on the worker count, we're actually even on workers. So it's not actually that bad for us. And our Nexus is up as well. So I'm trying to bait the Stalkers out and then go in and try to get more probe kills. And I'm going to commit here. Targeting 2 different probes there with my Adepts on the first initial shade. And this move right here has gotten us the probe lead, but now we are lower on our unit count. So we're going to Chrono out an Immortal right away. We're going to try to use this Robo non-stop here. We want to be Chronoing this. And you notice we only have 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry, so we're going to need some more additional defenses. You're just very low on gas, so I went 1 Sentry and 1 Zealot, because I also wanted to get a second Oracle out, and we're using the Oracle to drop some stasis wards to maybe catch some units if he does try to push out. I was assuming he would probably try to push out around this time, now that the Adepts were gone, but it looks like he's just chilling. After the first Immortal finishes, we're going to go a second Immortal, and we're just constantly building probes here, by the way. And we really have not gotten much done with the Oracles at all, but they do have I do have some nice spotters with them. using the stasis wards, and you know, they are just kind of keeping him back. I think one of the reasons he felt a little hesitant to push out was probably because of these two oracles, because he knows he's going to have to keep units back anyways. It's going to get a little dicey for him. I'm going to try to go in here with my oracles, but can't really get much done. I've added both of my gases at my expo, and I'm up to a third gateway. I'm going to get up to 2 more, so I'm going to go up to 5 total, I believe. Either 5, sometimes I'll go 6. We have the 2 Immortals now. Once you get 2 Immortals and this little attack force, I see him taking a third base. I want to try to pressure this and kill this. And once you want to attack, if you're doing a timing, you should change your gateways to warp gates. I'm almost certain of this. The additional time it takes for you to walk across the map to reinforce is almost never worth it. It's almost always worth it to pay the 25-25 to be able to warp right where your reinforcements are. I'm quite certain of that. Even though they build slower, you'd rather have them less often and right where you need them. All right, we're gonna hallucinate 1 Immortal, so kind of obfuscates which units are real, which units are fake. Hopefully targets the fake one. And we're just going to try to get some force fields done here. Mistargeted my Immortal on his first blink, so that was unfortunate for him. But you see, with the 2 Immortals, you just have a really, you know, chunky, strong army, so it's kind of hard for him to engage. And now at the same time, I can go in with the Oracles in the main since we kept them alive, and we're going to try to get some damage done here. I'm really barely watching my army. I just kind of ran him back. As you can see, I have a misrallied Immortal. But we're getting tons of economic damage done in his main now. He's down to 37 probes compared to 44. And at this point, we're in a very good position. Yeah, we're up 20 supply now. And I killed his third. I'm feeling pretty good. And we're going to continue to push, but at the same time, we do have to... I'm still building probes. I'm thinking of taking a third base relatively soon here and getting up to Blink. That would be that's the next step here. We're going to take a third base and get Blink. For sure, Blink, and then maybe a third base after. And with that push, he's really kind of feeling the pressure here. He's trying to get aggressive, but we just have a lot more units than him. And, you know, with the Immortal... the Immortal against Stalkers just lasts a long time. And I just have... you know, a lot more units than he does. And we're just going to continue to push out while we take our third base. I don't feel like he has enough units, so that's why I'm pressuring. It looks like I'm right in this case. Because he's having to rebuild probes, so it's hard for him to rebuild probes and get enough army. And that's the build. So yeah, the interesting things about this one is, you know, opening the 2 Adepts, trying to get some economic damage done, then following it up with an Oracle, trying to get more economic damage done, and then following it up with that really odd 2 Immortal push that not many people hit. That timing is not very common, and it's quite strong because you have those 2 Immortals so early after, like, pressuring with oracles and stuff, and it can really be a quite powerful little push in that scenario. When AlphaStar did it, it would usually get a prism as well. In this patch, I don't think getting the prism is absolutely necessary since you can forward Pylon, and it kind of delays it another however long a prism takes to build. Whereas you can just push right when you get the 2 Immortals, and it's quite a bit faster, especially if you see him taking a third base. The other thing is you just really have to be wary of these Adepts when you're building these Adepts of Stalker pressure. I would really watch out for that. If you guys have any questions or any comments, I'd really appreciate you leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, I really appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe. Peace out. Hope this helped.